the issue of Brexit, obviously that came up. The second one that came up a lot, second most questions we had was immigration. I was going to give you a snapshot of some of the anger that came into our inbox. How can he be trusted on immigration when he opposes Rwanda, he opposed the deportation of convicted foreign criminals, he supported open borders and mass immigration? One reader. Another one, how can he be trusted on Brexit? Well, we've covered that. We're refusing to recognise the will of the British people. Another reader writes, what's his actual plan to stop the boats? Because he just shouts, smash the gangs. The Tories tried that, not least with the millions of quid they gave to France. What is your real plan?
Well, look, Harry, I'm a pragmatist and I'm not here just to make headlines. I think Rwanda is a gimmick for reasons I'll set out in a minute. But what I would do...
You're allowed to make headlines, though, if you want to.
Look...
You can.
We have to stop the boats. We cannot go on like this. The government's lost control of the borders. Yeah. So we've got to stop the boats. And I'm very serious about that. I understand why people are concerned. This sense that we no longer control who's coming here is palpable. It's got to stop. If you're going to stop the boats, you need to recognise there are gangs that are running this trade and putting people in the boats in the first place. They have got boats that are pretty well being made to order. They're being kept in bits of Europe and transported to the coast, and people are being put in them. I do not accept that it's impossible to take that down. I personally was involved in joint operations to defeat terrorists across Europe, and I know what can be done. And don't tell me that can't be done.
They've been trying this already. The National Crime Agency are already trying to smash these gangs.
Well, I'm not sure that's true.
Does the Labour government make any difference?
If you look at some of the reports, there's reports that the information isn't getting exchanged properly, quickly enough. I think we can have a better set of relationships. If I was the Prime Minister, I'd be knocking on the doors of our European leaders, say, we need to crack this with a joint task force to crack and break these gangs. So we have to do that.
But you think that will solve it?
Contrast that with Rwanda, because Rwanda, at the very most, is going to remove about 300 people.
If their planes were going, you'd ground them.
There are 130,000 people. So the chance of anyone... Yesterday, I think we had a record number for this year crossing the channel. So the idea that the Rwanda scheme is putting them off is quite hard to make. Those people have got something like a 99.5% chance of never being on the plane. That isn't a very good deterrent to my mind. That is a gimmick.
The flights get going, you would ground them.
Every single person on the flight, if there is a flight, 300, is going to cost the taxpayer £2 million.
It's expensive.
I think it's an expensive gimmick. I don't think it'll work. I would do the hard yards, more mundane, I accept, of actually taking the gangs down in the first place that are running this show.
It's getting a bit heavy. Let's have a little break, shall we? So, amongst our many questions, we had some very urgent questions from some readers. These are 100%, definitely, almost all questions from our readers.
Almost all, Harry.
Sir Keir Starmer, what is your favourite crisp flavour?
Salt and vinegar. Always has been, always will be.
Curry order?
Well, I'm vegetarian.
Right, but they can do...
So, chana masala, vegetable curry, something like that.
Do you share your curry, or do you hoard it like Smithy?
We share it. My wife's a vegetarian, my daughter's a vegetarian, our son is not a vegetarian because when he was 10, we said, you don't have to do this if you don't want to.
Sounds complicated.
So he'll have a lovely chicken curry alongside our vegetable curries, but yeah, we share it.
What's the worst date you ever went on?
Oh, come on, Harry, I'm not going to reveal that on your programme or why.
Fine. How much was a pint of milk?
Pint of milk, about £1.10.
You get it 85p in the Co-op. Do you have any tattoos?
No, I don't.
Are you
suggesting this might improve our chances in the election?
What's your weirdest habit? These are all readers' questions.
Weirdest habit? Oh, I don't know what my weirdest habit is. And again...
No answering questions?
No, look... People say, what's the wildest thing you've done? What's your weirdest habit? Nobody in their right mind answers those questions live on air. All
right, you might do this one. Was it wrong for Nike to change the Cross of St George on the back of the New England kit?
Yeah, I think it was. And I think it's hard...
What was it they were doing?
Look, I mean, as you know, I'm a big football fan. I go to England games, men and women's game, and the flag is used by everybody. It is a unified, it doesn't need to be changed. We just need to be proud of it. So I think they should just reconsider this and change it back.
All right.
I'm not even sure they can properly explain why they thought they needed to change in the first place. But one more thing on that. They could also reduce the price of the shirts. I think we can all get behind pounds.
All get behind that. What was the last book you read? And very important caveat, that wasn't that biography about you recently.
Who says I've read it? I'm reading...
You wrote half of it, didn't you?
Yeah. There's a book by Melissa Bailey at the moment that I'm reading, Lost at Sea, which is an intriguing book. So I'm in the middle of that. I haven't finished it yet. but I'm halfway through.
And one more before we go on to the heavy stuff again. Your tipple after a hard day in the office?
Pale ale.
I'll buy you one after this if you're good. Right, enough of the easy stuff. Let's talk about pensions. Oh, actually, no, hang on. One more before pensions. It's sort of linked. Capital gains tax, your favourite subject. Angela Rayner says she's got no questions to answer about capital gains tax, but the electoral roll states that for at least 5 years, she lived apart from her husband while her brother lived with her husband. Do you believe that?
Yes, Angela's explained herself. She's taken legal advice and tax advice.
Are you going to publish that legal advice?
Assured. Well, look, that's a matter for Angela. But look, of course I believe her.
But her neighbours say she's lying. They're on the record saying it's not true.
Well, look, Angela's explained herself. She's taken legal advice and tax advice. And they're absolutely clear there's no tax to pay. And I think that's the long and the short of it.
Do you not think that we need to be able to see that? Because there are obvious questions that are being asked very publicly that haven't really been fully answered without seeing this independent tax advice.
Look, one, that's a matter for Angela. And two, for all I know, the advice might go into the personal circumstance of her living arrangements. She had real
but you
difficulties.
expect the highest levels of honesty and trust in your...
Yeah, I do, but I also respect basic privacy. I mean, there's issues there about her son, I think, and I'm very protective of my own children. And I'm perfectly willing to protect the privacy of others who want to protect their children. I don't know what Angela's position on it is, but look, she's explained herself.
You're the leader of the party.
No, I mean, in the legal advice. I mean, in the legal advice, there are issues about her son, as you know.
But you're taking her word that it's all fine, or have you seen this legal advice?
No, I've taken her word, but I also do know the legal advice has been given and the tax advice.
But have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
So you're just taking it. It's all a matter of trust. It's all above board, and you're just taking.
I know what the conclusion of the advice is. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. One question that came up even much as immigration. Will you pledge, Sir Keir Starmer, to keep the pensions triple lock for the full 5 years of the next Parliament if you're lucky enough to be Prime Minister?
Well, I believe in the triple lock. I don't think the government should have opened this debate up saying they would keep to it. Obviously, we'll have to see what the state of the economy is as we go into the election. We will publish all of our plans as we go in and answer that question. But I believe in the triple lock.
The triple lock's going to be in your next manifesto, right?
Well, look, we'll have to set that out when we get to the manifesto.
You know how many emails we're going to get about this because you're not committing to it there, and it's one of the most live wires of political politics.
I believe in the triple lock. The government says it believes in the triple lock. It should never have opened this debate up. We will set out everything fully costed our manifesto when we get to that point, as you will expect and as you will see.
To be clear, you're not confirming to keeping the triple lock for the full 5 years of the next Parliament if you're lucky enough to be Prime Minister?
We will look at the state of the finances as we go into the election and only make promises we can keep, but I believe in the triple lock.
I think we can take it from that what we will. Waspy Women, damning report today. Lots of emails about this today. Are you going to pay that compensation if it's found to be... Would a Labour government pay up?
Well, we're going to have to look carefully at that report. I haven't had the chance to go through it myself yet. I think, as I understand it, there are a number of different proposals in it. So we will, as the government, I think, is doing, look at the report and consider it.